Hello everyone. So today we'll be talking about a very important topic that will be on energy. That how we drive our energy requirement of our country. So this energy sector will be divided into two parts. So we'll be talking about one of the fossil fuel based section over here, that is coal, oil, and gas. That is our resources and how we are going to generate energy from there. And in the next video, we'll be coming out with the renewable energy section of our Indian economy that we'll be discussing in a separate video. So today we'll be talking about the energy, that how this concept of energy came into being, what is the historical context, what is the present context, and everything we'll be discussing regarding the energy over here, how we are deriving the energy, what is the issues related to the energy, what are the issues related to the various sectors of our energy sector of our country, and we'll be finding out what is the problem with the coal, what is the problem with the oil, what is the problem with the gas, then what are the solution, what government is doing, what schemes government is launched in order to especially focus on all these sectors, right? So we'll be discussing each and everything one by one. So let's start with our session right away. So as you all know that we are working under this part, infrastructure. Okay, so this energy section we will be finishing now. Okay, we'll be finishing this energy sector, and under energy this topic will be divided into two parts. One is fossil fuel based energy, another one is renewable based energy that will be there, right? So first of all, we have to find out what is the historical context, what is the history of the energy. So we have divided into pre-independence, then we have post-independence, and then what we have a liberalization era. Okay, and what is the current trend. Okay, so this is how we have divided our energy sector of us today. So under the pre-independence era, like before 1947, okay, so we were focusing solely on the traditional sources, which we are deriving from the local sources in the form of biomasses. Okay, biomasses like we used to burn the wood, then cow dung is there, agriculture residue is there. Okay, then we will be utilizing animal power and a very limited extent of hydroelectric power, because during this time British people have started doing the construction work of various hydroelectric dams. Okay, so this was the first there was a first large scale hydroelectricity project that has been constructed in India, came of around 103 megawatt. Okay, that was the power station in Sidrapong in Darjeeling in 1897. So this was one of the oldest and one of the first large scale hydroelectric project that has been installed in our country during the pre-independence era. So whenever we start reading any sector, we have to go from the very basic, from its historical context. Okay, so there were all traditional means, cow dung, biomass, लकड़ी use कर रहे हैं, then cow dung use कर रहे हैं, agriculture waste we are utilizing for generation of energy by burning them and utilizing it for energy needs, right? Then slowly as the technology progressed, so we have now post independence period came from 1947 and till 1990s, because after 1990 we have a LPG reforms that has been came into being, right? So during the post independence period, we have done, first of all, we have focused on the nationalization. We done nationalization of the bank, nationalization of various power sector that has been done, right? So as we all know that government said that if we wanted to progress, we have to control certain very important sectors, whether it is cement sector, whether it is iron and steel sector, whether it is power sector, whether it is banking sector. So here also government has taken a good control over the power sector of our country, including, and that is only a part of energy, right? Then in 1951 they came up with Electricity Act. Electricity Act means this act or this rules or this law will be governing all the related matters regarding the electricity generation, distribution and consumption in our country. And because of that, it led to the nationalization of electricity in our country. So that means, now all the rules will be made by the government, all the that how the distribution is going to be done, like what consumers are going to get, this is all being done, and this is all being controlled and regulated by the central government and in some places state governments, right? Then hydroelectric power expansion has taken a lot of stage over there, because there was continuous investment by our government. Bhakra Nangal project, that is on Satluj river, that got completed in 1963, is one of the largest multi-purpose project dam. Okay, so they were also being called as temples of modern India. Jawaharlal Nehru said that these are going to be the temples of modern India: the power sector, the mineral sector, then the colleges, schools, and everything will be called as the temples of modern India. And then we also started exploration of oil and gases, because we were earlier importing around more then close to 90-95% we were importing. Okay, so government decided that if we wanted to reduce the import bill, and if we wanted to reduce the foreign control of our economy, because energy sector is the sector through which your economy gets control. But if you are not having your own sources of energy, then other countries get the control of your economy, right? Because if they are able to switch off the supply of oil and gases, obviously how you are going to run the things, right? So oil and gas is being treated as an integral part of the Indian economy, and government said that we will be importing the things from outside, but at the same time we need to explore our own oil and gas reserves. So in 1950s and 60s, the oil exploration has started, and there was a setting up of the ONGC, Oil and Natural Gas Corporation of India, in 1956 that came into being. So the purpose is that to explore and exploit the hydrocarbon resources that are there in our own country. Okay, then we came into the liberalization era, when we have improved the LPG reforms we have done. Okay, we have done the LPG reforms, right? So under LPG reforms, obviously there were a lot of energy sector reforms also being done by us. Okay, so what was the energy sector reforms that has been given? So as you all know that during that time economic liberalization have taken place, right? Economic liberalization, where we are trying to liberalize the various sectors of our country, right? So in that, energy sector is also one of the sector which need to be liberalized, because there was a lot of monopoly of the central government was there, and state government was there. Okay, monopoly, right? So in order to cut this monopoly, government tried to privatize the sector. So slowly during that time, many new private companies who have started taking control of the power generation. As you all know that Tata Power is there, Jindal Power is there, right? Tata Power, Jindal Power, right? Then various other power sector players are there, which private power sector players were there, who has came to they got a life that now government is trying to privatize the places. Okay, so because of that, we have started attracting competition. We have started attracting the private investment in all these areas, right? Then slowly we are also started diversifying on our renewable energy, because during that time the concept of our solarization and climate change is boosting. Okay, the concept of climate change and solar energy and various renewable energy is coming into boost, right? So we started making sure that slowly we need to diversify our energy mix, and we have to move away from the fossil fuel as much as we can, in order to prevent the climate change. So we cannot prevent the climate change solely on us, but we have to do our own effort, personal effort. Like we need to provide solar energy, a boost from solar, wind, biomasses, and right now tidal energy is also there, and various other types of energy, then ethanol and everything we have started doing. Then National Solar Mission came into being, launched in 2010. The focus is solely on to promote solar power generation in our country, right? Then nuclear power came into being, also started generating nuclear power. So we know that first nuclear power reactor became critical means when it started generating power. Okay, when started generating power. So Homi Jahangir Bhabha was the brain behind our nuclear power. So we have a three-stage nuclear power program is there, right? We have a 3-stage nuclear power program is there. So during that time we have started generating nuclear energy from the first nuclear power reactor in Apsara that came into being, and slowly we have even seen a lot of development have been taken place, and we have at various places right now we have nuclear power plant, and around 4 to 6,000, I think till now we are generating around 4,000 to 6,000 megawatt of electricity, and we will be updating you with this current affair data once and all we have a current affairs data regarding that. Like we will be telling you right how much power we are generating from the nuclear power plant. Okay, so in order to control this nuclear power, so we have a Nuclear Power Corporation of India Limited came into being in 1987. Okay, so this all led to the development of the power sector. Then slowly government said that we have to connect all the villages with a proper electrification. So under that a very big and flagship scheme was there, that is called Rajiv Gandhi Gramin Vidyutikari Yojana, and recently Deen Dayal Upadhyay Gram Jyoti Yojana for electricity to all. That is the concept that we have taken as a basic need. Okay, as a basic need that we have taken. Right now, what is the current trend that is right now going on? It is the renewable energy expansion that we are focusing on. Okay, so we have taken a ambitious target, okay, to generate around like renewable energy capacity like 175 gigawatt of renewable energy capacity by 2022, and we are focusing on 450 to 500 gigawatt by 2030. That is the target we have set for ourselves, and we have even said that by 40% of our electricity will be generated by non-fossil fuel based resources. Okay, non-fossil fuel based, under that we can also put nuclear power, at the same time we also put hydropower in that. So we have even crossed this to 40%, and we are focusing right now on 50%. Right now we are focusing on non-fossil fuel based power. Okay, and slowly at the same time as we are increasing the renewable energy expansion, we are also focusing on energy efficient tooling. Okay, how we can become more and more energy efficient, how we can prioritize our energy, how we can meet the growing demand of energy expansion, and how we can achieve this efficiency with the help of very efficient tools, how we can provide various efficient tools in industries, how we can provide very efficient tools in India. Like if we go in a home, so we can have energy efficient machines in our home, we can have energy efficient lightings, right? Similarly, right now you can see LED bulbs are there which are consuming less power than the incandescent lamp, right? So this is what our energy efficiency. So energy efficiency of India Limited is also there, which is focusing on energy efficiency tool. Then we are focusing on smart grid and digitalization. Okay, that is what we are focusing on, like how we can become more and more smart grid, because you know right now the renewable energy non-renewable energy all are getting generated and they are fed onto the grid. Okay, so we need a smart grid, and right now we are doing net metering. That means you can put the solar panels at your home, and you will be generating electricity. If it is of if you are generating 10 kilowatts and your need is only 7 kilowatts, so 3 kilowatts will be going into the grid. Okay, 3 kilowatts will be going to grid, and you will be paid for that. Okay, you will be paid for that. Okay, some days if your electricity is not being generated 10 kilowatt and you are only able to generate 4 kilowatt, okay, and then you can extract extra 3 kilowatt from the grid. Okay, so this will be net metering. So your balance, you will be balancing out. Okay, so you have given 3 kilowatt to the grid, and once your electricity is not generating, you have taken 3 kilowatt from the grid. So this is how it's called as a net metering. And if the balance is positive, you may get paid for that. If it is balance is negative, then you may have to pay for it. Okay, so that is what the concept of energy sector that is there. Okay, power sector is there. Now We also know that we all know that government has said that we will be achieving energy independence by 2047. Energy independence means we will be making import zero import by 2047, because right now we are dependent on coal, we are dependent on crude oil, we are dependent on natural gas also from outside. Okay, so we are focusing on that. By 2047 we will be becoming energy independent. That is the 100th year of our independence. Okay, we all know that energy can be derived from renewable and non-renewable sources. Non-renewable can be fossil fuel, okay, and some other tools are also there. Renewable are something like we have a biomass is there, we have solar is there, wind is there, we have a tidal is there, geothermal is there, all these things are there. Okay, so this non-renewable part we will be discussing in our next video. Okay, next video we will be having a separate video on this. Okay, now we are moving towards the next topic. Yeah, right now some of the most facts and datas are there. We will be coming, so we have to discuss all these things so that you are well versed with all the facts and data. So whenever any questions comes to energy sector, you directly put the numbers over there. Okay, so like we say that around since 1947 there was only 16 units of electricity per capita that was being generated or that is being consumed during that time. But right now in 21 and 22, which is the data that I got, it is 1255. That means from 16 unit to 1255 is the average per capita consumption of the electricity. Okay, so there is a remarkable increase that is there. Okay, but still we are lagging behind because this is only 1/3 of the world average. Okay, now expansion of non-fossil fuel capacity. So in April 2023 installed power capacity is 416.59 gigawatt. That is the installed capacity, overall total capacity that we are having. Okay, that is 416.59 gigawatt. Out of this we have 178 from non-fossil fuel. Okay, so 178.79 from non-fossil fuel. That means we have already crossed 40%. So right now we are generating 41.4% of our electricity from non-fossil fuel based sources. Okay, 41. So we are expecting that this we will be converting to 50% by 2030. That is what exactly we are focusing on. More and more solarization, more and more on wind and geothermal and everything we will be utilizing. Okay, so and under that India has secured a position like fourth in the renewable energy installed capacity. That is, India is doing so good that India has got the fourth rank in the renewable energy installed capacity, wind power capacity, solar power capacity. Okay, as per the REN21 global status report. If you go and you can download this report, I think 351 pages report it is there. If you wanted to read, you can go. It is just a good go through, but just don't worry, it is just like that. You have to take statistics from there. Okay, now progress on energy transition index. Okay, India has made a notable progress and now India has climbed to the 87th position in energy transition index as per the World Economic Forum. So you should know energy transition index is of the World Economic Forum. Okay, and India is at the 87th position and India is climbing very high in order to show that India is doing transition from non-fossil fuel to non-fossil fuel. Okay, and then we have taken a target of installing 500 gigawatt of electricity capacity from non-fossil fuel by 2030. That is what we have we wanted to achieve in the future, right? Now if we go by the oil consumption, okay, if we go by the oil consumption by 2017, per capita consumption of 625.6 kilogram oil equivalent. Okay, the global average of this oil equivalent is 1660 kilogram of oil equivalent. Okay, so US and China, so US is having 6800 kilogram of oil equivalent and China is having 2170 of kilogram of oil equivalent, which is, and India is far lagging behind this. Okay, so India's oil consumption and oil equivalent consumption, per capita consumption stood at very less as compared to US and China. And we have already discussed that coal in our energy mix, like whatever power sector, okay, in our sector for energy generation, The maximum we are utilizing of the coal is 49.6%, then oil we are utilizing 28%, then biomass 11.6, then gas 7.6, and renewable and clean energy 2.2, and nuclear is 1.2% that we are utilizing, right? So renewable energy is a very strategic tool that we wanted to have, because this is going to provide us with the energy independence. Okay, this will be providing us with energy independence, because we are still 80% dependent on the oil imports. Okay, so as we progress on the renewable energy sector, more and more we will be adhering to the climate goals, and more we will be reducing our oil imports, right? So we will be getting two targets that will be achieved just by moving towards this whole process, and we will be having our own energy security. We will be more efficient in our way of working. We will be also decarbonizing our area. Okay, so now, and all these things whatever we are talking about, like we have to remove the coal and we have to reduce our carbon emission, it is all based on the commitment that we have given in the Paris Agreement. You know, Paris Agreement of Conference of Party 21. Okay, that happens COP20, that happens on in Paris 2015, where India has declared itself as INDC goals. Okay, intended nationally determined contribution goals they have declared, right? So India itself has given their nationally determined contributions goals. So we will be all discussing these Paris climate goals. Okay, so India said that we will be achieving their target. Okay, and we will be achieving the sustainable alternative to the conventional fossil fuel in the coming years. Okay, now the current status of oil and gas industry. So since we will be discussing oil and gas industries and power sector and coal industry over here, so the we have to first of all decide like what is the status of the oil and gas industry, right? So Indian domestic crude oil production is declining. Okay, so it was estimated around 32.6 metric million ton in 2016 and 17. The reason that has been given is that, so there was lack of discoveries. There is lack of discoveries. At the same time, there was a decline in the field. Okay, you have like since 50 to 60 years, you are extracting the oil from there. So slowly the process of aging is also working over there. Okay, so because of that, oil production is declining, and discoveries are not happening the way it should happen. And then, you know, India is known for its refining capacity, because India, the most of the crude oil of the world right now, because of the Russia-Ukraine war, you know, the maximum Russia oil is being routed to India, and from India it wins to the European Union. So most of them is being refined in India. Okay, refining means when we are converting crude oil into various components using fractional distillation process, right? So the refining capacity, India has a fourth global refining capacity. What is the refining capacity of our country? It is 249.4 million metric ton per annum. Okay, so this capacity has increased from 2017, 18 to 2018 and 19, but slowly the refining capacity utilization has dropped. Okay, that means we have a refining capacity, but the usage has been dropped because of certain regulatory matters, certain regarding the pandemic, and all these things are there. Okay, then we have a natural gas production. So India the domestic production is around 31.8 billion cubic meter is there, that is in 2019 and 20. So now we wanted to know what is this whole process of oil and gas industry, how this works. Okay, so there are three important streams are there: upstream, midstream, and downstream. Okay, upstream means it is the first stage of any in the industry, any industry. For upstream means we are focusing on the, first of all, we have to identify like some resources is there, right? Then once we are able to identify, then we have wanted to extract the things from there, whatever the oil is there, the natural gas is there, whatever is there. So okay, so the upstream sectors are ONGC sector is there, oil and gas sector is there, GAIL is there. Okay, so all these are engaged in the upstream sector, right, for identifying and extracting the oil. Then comes the midstream sector. What is the meaning of midstream? So once you are able to identify and when you are able to extract this oil, okay, so now you wanted to transport this oil to the extraction site. Okay, so from like you are extracting from the wherever you find a basin, right? From basin, then you are started extracting the oil, then you are transporting to the refineries. Okay, to the refineries, that is a midstream sector where fractional distillation takes place, where petrol, diesel, oil, coal or anything gets extracted and transported, right? Then downstream sector is where from refinery it goes to the main place from where it is being sent to the customer. Okay, so Indian Oil Corporation is there, is the largest company who is selling like around IOCL is having around 26,000 outlets of petrol pumps. Okay, so we are just telling you regarding one way how this upstream, midstream and downstream sector works. All right, so how this is working, so here we have a pictorial graph is there. So if you see here, this is a upstream sector, this part here is a midstream sector, and here we have a downstream, sector is there, right? So here you can see the oil or gas that is being extracted, right? Okay, so here it is being stored. From here it is being through the various ships and various cargo ships are there through which it is being transported to the various centers from where it is going to be. Then here will be refining and everything will be done, and then it will be stored at the places where it will be sold to the customers or petrol station, whatever it is. Okay, so this is how the upstream market, middle stream and downstream market works. Okay, now we will be discussing the India's overall power sector. So if we go by the Indian power sector, so we have since 1990s we have went through a lot of changes over there. Okay, so if we go by some of the statistics, right now we have installed capacity of 3,56,100 megawatt. By March 2019 we have already seen that we have increased to 3,064,000. Right now we will be updating you with the data of 2024 because whenever we have a exact and proper data, okay, whenever annual report are being released, then only we update the data, so you will be coming to know that. Okay, so again in the power sector we have a power generation, right? Power generation is there. So we have reached around 344 gigawatt, and right now we are already so we have already discussed in before that 459 gigawatt we have already reached in 2022. Okay, so this data you can just miss on that, right? Now after that we are growing at a aggregate growth rate of 7.2%. We have already installed a capacity of 3.9 lakhs circuit kilometers, right? So the transmission lines are very, because this is the transmission line which are being telling about like how fast we are doing the electrification, how long distance we are focusing, how the load center are being distributed in our transmission line. So India has done a very rapid progress under that. Okay, so there is a capacity addition that has happened in these years. Okay, so there are a lot of distribution is there, so we have a distribution companies are there which are distributing the power. Okay, so there is a lot of issues that has happened with the discom. Okay, we will be discussing all these things in the coming slides. Now we are coming into the current status of coal, oil and gas reserve, right? So we know that India is a rich deposit of coals in our world, right? So as of 2022, we are having a 361.41 billion tons of coal reserve is there. Okay, and we have estimated that this time we have 9.28 billion ton more over the corresponding previous year that we have explored some more areas, right? So there was a growth of 2.64% over the previous year, right? So three states are there which are on the top of our coal production. That is, first one is Odisha, second one is Jharkhand, third one is Chhattisgarh, which are producing 69% of the total coal. Okay, so whenever we say that we have estimated the coal reserve in our country, so what is the meaning of estimated? So under the estimation we have proved reserve, we have indicated reserve and we have a inferred reserve. Under the proof, that means this is there, that has been confirmed, that has been totally confirmed, and we have a confidence in that. Okay, then the inferred mineral are there, in which we have a low confidence. We have a low confidence under that, right? And then we have a indicated, we have a little higher confidence that this is the reserve that is there as per the proved reserve. Okay, so that means the proved is the highest confidence that we are having. Indicated, we have just little less confidence than the proved one, and the inferred, we have a very, very less confidence in that. Okay, now if we go by this current status of coal and oil reserve, we can see that state-wise estimation on 1st April 2022, you can see that here 3 states are there, 4 states are there, that is Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, Madhya Pradesh and Maharashtra. So maximally is in Jharkhand. You can see the proved reserve, the maximum, here Odisha is also there. In the maximum is in Jharkhand, we can see, and then after that we have Odisha is there, 43,326 million tons is there, right? So these 5 states are there, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra and Odisha are there. You can find out these datas are there, this has been proved over here. So maximally it is in Jharkhand, then we have Odisha is there, then we have Chhattisgarh is there, then we have Madhya Pradesh is there. So this is how. Then we have a Telangana and West Bengal is there. So, and very little in Sikkim, and that means that in Andhra Pradesh, Arunachal, Assam Pradesh, there are very little less reserves are there of the coal oil. Okay, of the coal reserve is there. Okay, so this is what the data I wanted to show you. Then we are coming into the crude oil, because people wanted to see the data. Okay, people wanted to see the data where we are having oil in our country, right? So if you go by this, you can see that there is Assam, there is Gujarat. After that, you can directly come into your last part, that is western offshore. You know, we have a Bombay High. Okay, we have Bombay High is there, which is in the exclusive economic zone of India, right? It is around 300 kilometers to the western coast in the Arabian Sea, right? So the maximum we are having 222.79 million ton reserve is there, that is there in our Bombay High. And then we are having in Assam and Gujarat. You know, Assam we already know, then Gujarat we already know. So overall we are having a 591.92 million tons of reserve, and the Saudi, Qatar and everybody, Venezuela, they are having the reserve in the billions. Okay, they are having the reserve in billions, right? Then we have a natural gas. So we have a good natural reserve that is there in our country. Okay, so natural gas reserve is seen in BCM, billion cubic meter. Okay, that has been billion cubic meter. So under that we are having the maximum reserve. If we go by that, it is we are finding in the eastern offshore. Eastern offshore means Krishna Godavari basin. Okay, KG Krishna Godavari D6 basin, D5 basin is there, right? Eastern offshore corridor is there. Then we have a western area, that is again Mumbai High and nearby that places. So 557 billion and 325 billion. After that we are having the maximum in here. Okay, in Assam area, you can see 166 billion cubic meter is there, and then after that in Gujarat we are having 57.22 billion. So maximum we are having in eastern and western, that is a gas reserve we are having, and then we have in Assam, right? So this is the oil and natural gas estimation of our country as on April 1st 2022, right? Now potential renewable power, let's discuss this here, and this will be coming in the in our coming slides. You will be getting all these things in the coming slides, but I'll do one thing. I'll discuss this in your renewable energy slide. Okay, in the renewable energy slide, so you can just see here, like wind power, which area is having maximum potential. This is Gujarat and Andhra Pradesh. A small hydro, which is having the maximum potential, we can see over here Himachal Pradesh is having the maximum potential. Then biomass power, where we are having maximum potential in Kerala, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra and all these places we are having good potential. Then Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh are having. Then co-generative bagases are there. Then waste to energy, where we are having solar energy. Everywhere we have a maximum potential, but maximum we can see is in Rajasthan, it is 1,42,000 megawatt we can expect, that is. Okay, so this is what we are having right now as a in megawatt. We can see how much power generation we are having, but we will be discussing in our renewable energy lecture, right? So here now you can see what is the percentage consumption of coal in different sector. Okay, so now coal is utilized in which all sector? Maximally the coal is utilized in the electricity generation. Okay, maximally the coal is utilized in the electricity generation of our country. We all know that if we are standing in a status area, we can see that the coal is being transferred by the trains. Okay, we are also importing the coal. We are importing the coal from Australia, then China, then Indonesia, and various other places. We are importing of high grade coal. We are also importing. So 69 to 70% we are utilizing coal in the electricity generation. Then after that we can see that then steel washery, import coking oil is there, coking coal is there, then 6%. Then other import of non-coking is then 23% we are utilizing other place. So maximally we are utilizing in the generation of electricity. And at 2021-2022 the total consumption stood at 1028.12 million tons. Okay, then we are coming over here the consumption of electricity by sector. So maximum electricity is being consumed at which places? So the maximum electricity is being consumed at industry, 41%. Okay, so whatever the energy that we are generating, the maximum is being utilized by the industry. Then it is by the domestic usage, then agriculture area, then we have a commercial area, then traction and railway. Railway is utilizing only 1% of the all energy generation of our country, and that is a very when we need to increase this, and that is why we will be expanding our railway traction network. And then other is 6%, and that various places. So this is the current status of oil, gas and power sector of our country, and the wherever we are maximally utilizing this all electricity. Now this is again a very important pictorial graph that I wanted to show. We have a strategic petroleum reserves are there in our country. Okay, you know, this is called strategic because we wanted to keep some oil as reserve. We wanted to keep some oil as reserve, so that if any crisis happen, if any war happens, or if there is any supply chain disruption is happening, then we can utilize these reserve for our benefit. Okay, so in India we have 4-5 places are there to where we have developed these reserve in the rock cava. Okay, there is a rock we have just dig up the rocks, and we have created a kind of a storage facility at that places. So we have at various places like 5.33 metric million ton storage oil is there. Phase 1 in Vishakhapatnam, then Mangaluru and Poddur. Okay, so you can see in Vishakhapatnam 1.33 metric million ton, Mangaluru 1.5 million metric ton, and Poddur 2.5 million metric ton. Then another 6.5 million metric ton reserve is there under strategic petroleum reserve is Chandi Kole in Odisha, that is 4 million metric ton, then Poddur in Karnataka 2.5 million ton. So right now existing capacity are all these. Okay, so five existing places are there. One is Vishakhapatnam, one is Mangalore, one is Poddur, one is Chandi Kohol, and then we have a Poddur is there. So all these places are being where the strategic petroleum reserve are there. So with this especially focusing on boosting our energy security. If there is any crisis that is happening, all of a sudden crisis happen right now. If we go, all of a sudden COVID-19 happen. Okay, because of that all transportation and everything gets stopped. So in order to supply the essential crude oil and various essential elements to our economy, this strategic reserve is being created, and this will be utilized during the time of like in crisis, war, or any supply chain disruption that is happening. Okay, then we have a major places where we have a natural gas reserve. So which all places we are having the natural gas reserve. So here you can see this is a western offshore grid is there. Okay, and then we have this eastern offshore eastern offshore area is there. Okay, so the Krishna Godavari basin was over here, and then we have a Bombay High Basin and Gujarat High Basin is over here. So this is a maximum gas reserve and natural gas reserves that are there in our country belongs to all these places. Okay, so and then again Assam and Tripura are there, which are producing certain limited quantity, but still they are producing a sufficient amount of gases which will be utilizing domestic production that we are getting from all these places. Okay, so this is the energy sector, like how major inputs: coal, oil and gas. So thermal power, maximum coal, oil and gas is utilized for making thermal power. Okay, transmission, utility and various other places. Then water, hydropower, radioactive element, nuclear power, solar panel, windmill, renewable energy. Okay, so this is how the source of power is there, how we are getting major inputs and how they are generating power, and then how this is being distributed through state boards, private distribution and everything. Industrial consumption is more than 38%, and domestic consumption is 22%, agriculture is 22%, consumption commercial 8%, and rest 10%. So do not go by this percentage. You just remember like from where inputs are coming, where the inputs are utilizing, how the transmission is being done, and how it is utilizing in the future. Okay, now we are coming into the issues related to the coal sector of our country. What are the issues that are related to the coal sector of our country? So whenever we discuss regarding the coal sector, okay, first of all, there are certain issues related to the coal sector. What is the first issue? That is unfavorable social economic environment is there. Okay, so there was a preference for open cast mining is there. So earlier there was a preference for open cast mining is there over underground operations. Okay, so we should focus on more and more underground operation, because even we have a better quality reserve that is there underground, but still government is focusing on open cast mining. Okay, in the open cast mining, there was a lot of damage that happens to the land, to the rivers, to the forest, to the over area. So ecological damages happen, because if you are doing an open area, you are doing the operation of coal mining, so there will be dust that will be there automatically. The residue that will be there, that will be transferred from the surface runoff to the rivers. Okay, and even the people will get displaced from there. Okay, so this will also make the land infertile. So focus has to be there on the underground usage of the coal mining. But again, the government earlier used to preference for the open cast mining. Then there was a lot of civil unrest that was there, because most of the coal mines are there in Jharkhand, Odisha and West Bengal areas. So they are being affected by the left wing extremism area. Okay, they are being affected by the left wing extremism. So they are being hit by the Maoist guerrilla operations are there. Okay, so there were a lot of hostilities are there, right? Then people are doing illegal minings. Okay, so since the area is very large, some people are doing small mining activity. They are entering into the government area, and they are illegally mining the coal from there with the help of the nexus of the various officers and police and everything, right? Sometimes it happens. Okay, then there is a lot of litigation processes there. Litigation means a lot of courts activities and everything, and because of that this things get dragged to year. The land issues are happening, then land rights issues are happening. So because of that, these court cases goes drag for years and years on, because of that ineffective control, right? Then we have a rising imports. We have our coal mine, but still we have high imports that are happening. They have even a record level because of various factors are there, right? Because in our country the domestic coal production is not keeping pace with the way we wanted to utilize the coal. Okay, issues with the transportation network, issue with the land allocation. Okay, and also the quality of the coal is also not that much good in our country. That is why we have to rely on more and more imported coals. Okay, because in our country we have inferior quality of coal that is there. We have an inferior quality of coal is there, which is not good for various power sectors. So for power sector, we need some better good quality of the coal, which can produce much more calorific value, high calorific value coal we need. Okay, high calorific value coal we needed for our own power sector. Like if 1 kg of coal generates 10 kilojoules of energy, so other which we are importing, that 1 kg will be generating around 20 kilojoules of energy. So we will be needing some high calorific value of the coal, but in India we don't have that much good value coal that is there. Then that is why we have a too much. Now we are coming into the oil. Oil sector. Okay, we will be now discussing regarding the oil sector. What is the issue related to the oil sector? Obviously we have a heavy dependency, around 80% dependency on the future, from the foreign country, whether it is Saudi, Russia, Qatar, Iran, and various other countries are there. So whenever there is any slight fluctuation of the prices happen, automatically it creates a lot of geopolitical tension. Okay, because it lead to the supply disruption of the oil supply. And if there is any conflict, right now we have a Israel, Palestine, and Iran conflict that is going on. So because of that, there is a rise in the oil prices that are happening. And if there is any attack on the tanker ship, there is an attack on the tanker ship that is happening in the Red Sea or Suez Canal. So because of that also the oil prices goes very high. And there is a huge domestic production challenges are there, because we are falling short of our own demand. Okay, we have a growing demand, but we are not able to properly explore our own areas. Okay, so there are a lot of related issue related to exploration. There's a lot of issue related to the production. Bureaucratic red tapeism is there, regulatory hurdles are there. Because of that, there is no proper exploration activities are taking place in our own country. Okay, so there is a need to provide a better market for domestic production and exploration policy to our own country. Then infrastructure constraints are there. We have a old age pipelines are there, obsolete pipelines are there, no proper storage facilities are there. Even if the storage facilities are there, they have to be they are of very limited capacities are there. We have a very limited refining capacity is there. That is why, because of that, because of old pipelines, storage facility, refining capacity, it lead to the bottlenecks. Okay, we have insufficient supply network. So that is why, because of that, we require very high transportation cost. Okay, if we don't have a proper pipeline network, if we don't have that, we have to send it through trucks and trains and everything, which require very high transportation cost. Then we have a subsidy burden is there. Okay, government provide lot of subsidies on petroleum product like diesel, kerosene, cooking gas and everything. Right now, Uday scheme, Ujjwala scheme is there, and all these schemes are there where government is providing lot of subsidies to these. Okay, so subsidies always lead to inefficiency, often lead to inefficiency, sometimes overconsumption, because even people are not utilizing that, still people wanted to take that because they are getting it subsidy. Okay, unnecessary consumptions are happening. Okay, sometimes there are a lot of underpricing also happen in order to make the people feel that they are getting at reduced cost. Okay, so again, this is again one of our major issues there. Then we have a environmental concern are there. If we are burning fossil fuel, obviously air, water, land, soil and everything gets degraded. Okay, if we go by the concept of oil spills that are happening, you see a lot of oil spills are happening. British Petroleum oil spill happened at the Gulf of Mexico. Because of that, $2 billion fine they have to pay. Okay, so there is a lot of polluted gas emissions are happening, a lot of environmental challenges are happening. It is harming the wildlife and everywhere at every places, and it is also even endangering the public health of the people. Then there is a policy uncertainty, because there is no clear-cut policies are there. We don't know when the policy can change automatically. We don't know what is the proper taxation on that. At some state we have different taxation, and even the oil and gas are being kept outside GST. They are not being part of GST right now. They are being kept outside of GST. So that is why again there is a different pricing of oil and gas that is happening in various part of our country. Every state have their own oil and gas pricing mechanism. So because of that, a lot of issues happens regarding this whole purpose. Then we have issue related to the power sector. Now, issue related to the power sector. So there are a lot of issues related to the power sector. First of all is operational inefficiency. Right now, if we go and find out the various thermal power projects, they are being run on some outdated machinery and their process has become totally inefficient. Okay, so there are a lot of losses that are happening. Lot of losses are happening at every places of production. Okay, then we have a fuel available concern is there. there is sometimes the thermal capacity addition is concerned. We don't have proper fuel requirement. Okay, whenever like in last year 2022, there was a lot of issue of coal that was there. Okay, because of that there was a lot of power outage that has happened. Okay, so around 20,000 megawatt of gas based capacity remain idle due to non available gas. Okay, and there are a lot of issue related to the coal supply from the Coal India. Sometimes there was a sudden drop in the coal supply that happens, and because of that there was a lack of power generation that is happening. Okay, so this is again fuel availability concerns is there. Then rising generation cost, as more and more demand is getting increased, so there is difficulty in expanding the addition. Okay, because we have a very limited fuel availability, financial health of the state discoms are not good, uh, aggregate technical and commercial losses are also very high. Okay, so because we are getting imported coal from outside, so again it is import bill is getting very high. Restricted domestic supply, so we are not able to produce properly. Okay, then because of that high generation cost are there, because we are dependent on imported coal. Okay, so this is all hinder the overall affordability of generation of electricity. Okay, then inadequate infrastructure and electrification. Okay, so there is a issue of infrastructure, proper infrastructure. If we go to the various villages, last mile areas, in even some towns area are there are some places are there which we are having very absolute kind of line infrastructure. We don't have a proper feeder houses, we don't have a proper supply mechanism, we don't have proper transformers and everything. Okay, so these inadequate infrastructure and inadequate electrification also hinder the power sector. Then there are a lot of regulatory challenges are there. Okay, so because difficulty in fully regulating the discom distribution companies, because they are independent, but regulatory commission lack the authority of resource to effectively oversee the discom. Okay, distribution companies are trying to create a monopoly kind of situation. They have a very inefficient tariff system, they have a very loose regulation on them. Okay, and discoms are facing a lot of financial constraints are there because of the aggregate commercial and technical losses, and at the same time because of the theft charges and losses charges are there. Okay, then subsidization and effective incentivization. So we have a lot of places where we have unmetered power supply to the agriculture. Government sometimes provide a lot of subsidy to the agriculture sector, and they said that we will be providing subsidies to the agriculture sector, like they can utilize the power free of cost, and sometimes they even like waive off the power bills and everything related to the agriculture. So again, this is again a subsidization which is making our power sector inefficient. Okay, so many farmers receive incentives and they get unmetered electricity. Okay, you can utilize as much electricity as you can and you don't have to pay for it. So this is again just as a election winning tool the parties are utilizing. Then hidden demand and reliability issue. Okay, so there we know that what is the demand, and in the future what is going to be the demand. Okay, so the actual demand may be higher due to unmet need caused by the unreliable supply, and sometimes frequent power outages are there. So if you are able to supply it properly, and if you don't have frequent power outage, you may be able to totally gauge the situation, that how much demand is being projected, what is the maximum peak demand, what is the lowest demand. Now based on that you can generate the electricity. Now financial constraints. Okay, state power utilities discoms are in the poor financial health. Okay, so they need resources, they need better upgradation, they need better infrastructure, they need more and more modern technologies in order to improve on their all aspects of power. Okay, then impact on industrial competition. So we have a high electricity tariff and cross subsidies are being provided in this whole sector. Because of that, industrial and residential consumers are getting lot of issues regarding the tariff. Okay, so the some at some sectors we are having very high rates, in some places we are a very low rate. So based on that, there is a disadvantages we get to the competitor, like if we go to the state companies or central companies of power sector, they may get subsidies, and they may sell the power at less rates. But at the same time, there is a private sector is not getting any support, so they have to sell at a proper rate. Okay, so they, because of that, where central government, state government is providing subsidies, so because of that it leads to the issue of competition, because this will not be providing a healthy competition. This will be unnecessary putting pressure on the private sector, because private sector power will be of costly in nature. Okay, so because of that, it is also hindering the competition in this whole area. So these are the all issue related to the power sector. Now government has done a lot of effort in order to improve this scenario regarding the coal and power sector. So first of all, we will be discussing what government has done in order to improve the coal mining opportunities. So government has opened up the commercial coal mining. Okay, earlier there was a monopoly of Coal India was there. Okay, but now government has opened up the coal mining for the private players. Okay, because earlier there was a lot of insufficient supply was there, low quality was there, higher prices were there, because monopoly was there, right? But now government has said that now the private entity can be engaged in commercial mining from end to end price. There will be no price restriction, it will be all on competitive basis. So based on the commercial coal mining, government have set the target that at least 1.5 billion ton annually we have to generate. 1.5 billion ton of coal energy we have to annually generate. So what it is going to support, it will potentially will be saving 30,000 crore of rupees import bill, and 22% of the demand is met through earlier import bills. So India is the third largest coal producer in the globally. Okay, right? Now benefits of the coal power. 70% of our energy generation depends on the coal. Even we say that renewable energy is there and other types of energies are there, but coal is the cheapest and source of electricity of the country which is in the developing phase. Okay, so there is a need to improve the management, which will be helping this coal sector to revamp how we can supply the coal in a properly supply chain manner to the power plants, and how we can do the turnaround timing, how we can reduce the turnaround timing of the train. Okay, so since we will be opening up the coal mining area, so it will be doing transition from monopoly to competition. Okay, once the competition is there, proper price efficiency is achieved. So whatever the real prices are there, you will be able to get what is the prices are there. Okay, it will even attract the investments in this area. Private and foreign players will be again coming, and they will be setting up their factories, and FDI will be allowed in that, and so they will be coming with the advanced technologies from outside, and this will overall revamp the coal sector of our country. Okay, but still some issues are still there. See, we have allowed the private participation, so there may be the risk of domination of few private players. Okay, because this power plant business is of highly capital intensive market. Okay, everybody don't have that much of money. Okay, so only the big private players are having a lot of money, so there is a chance of domination by a few private player. Okay, then it will even contradict with our clean energy target. If we increase our coal production, if we start generating more and more by coal, so it will contradict our clean energy target. Okay, so there will be a pressure that will be coming in order to reduce our coal usage. Okay, then the government had started with the HELP policy, hydrocarbon exploration and licensing policy. So under the HELP policy, HELP stands for hydrocarbon exploration and licensing policy. So this is again a flagship policy that came in 2016, okay, to revamp the old policies of that. So here government has said that we will be providing uniform license. Like earlier you need to get separate license if you wanted to find out the coal bed methane, or if you wanted to find out shale gas. So every part have a separate licensing, but now government has come up with a uniform licensing. Okay, so there is a elimination of separate licensing. Okay, so whatever you wanted to get, you can have a single license for that. Then open egress facility. Now government has allowed that the company can select and explore blocks throughout the year. Okay, here companies have been given permission that now you can select the blocks, you can explore the blocks throughout the year. Earlier there was, what was happening, earlier there was only certain time frame was there where bids were allowed. But now government said that you can come anytime, you can select and you can start exploration anywhere. Then government came up with a simple revenue sharing model for that. It is for the easier administration of the whole purpose. Okay, then marketing and pricing. Government have even eased down the whole marketing marketing policy of this whole hydrocarbon market. Okay, so marketing freedom for crude oil and natural gas from these blocks. So government said that government will not be interfere in any of these matter. Government focuses on minimum government and maximum government process. So this health policy will be streamlining, so there will be very minimal government interference. Okay, here you can explore the gas block, you can apply for the license over there throughout the year, you can apply for that. Simple revenue sharing model will be there. Okay, then we have come up with a very important scheme that government has launched, that is called Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana. Okay, Ujjwala Yojana, because here I wanted to tell you regarding the very important flagship scheme regarding the LPG connection. Okay, this is a gas connection that government is providing to the below poverty line family household by 2020. We have set a target of 8 crore people, and later on this target has been increased by 1 crore people. Okay, so the beneficiaries are being selected based on the census of 2011 socio-economic caste census, and LPG connection will be provided in the name of adult woman of a BPL family. Okay, where financial support of rupees 1600 will be provided where they don't have any LPG connection. Okay, and then they can even buy the gas stoves and refill on zero interest EMI. Okay, and the people will be getting the subsidies. The people will be getting the subsidies in their bank account. Okay, they will be getting the subsidies in their bank account. Okay, so this whole scheme will be expanded to SC, ST, Antyodaya Yojana, then most backward classes, Pradhan Mantri Antyodaya Yojana, Grameen, then TX, Tea Garden, tribals people are there, everybody. This has been extended to these type of people who are being downtrodden, who are being economically weaker, and SC, ST people are there. Okay, so now this scheme cover all poor household of the country, and new beneficiary can even declare their property status and they can be also taking part of this whole scheme. Then government has come up with the unified gas pricing system. Okay, because you know that India wanted to become a gas based market. Okay, so government said that we wanted to provide unified gas prices so that everywhere the gas prices remain same. The main thing was that earlier why this the concept of gas pricing system came into being is that because earlier transportation of cost of gas is around 10% of the final gas price. So government wanted it to reduce it to the manageable 2 to 3%. Okay, so the main purpose of to provide is the national gas pricing system, national unified gas price system, is to reduce the transportation cost. So unified and streamlined process is very needed to reduce the cost to the consumer. So there we will be developing a single market, a single gas market which will be connected to all the gas grid. So this will enhance India to move towards the gas based economy. Okay, since we wanted to improve the usage of the gas and we wanted to improve the usability and affordability of the gas, government wanted to enhance the use of natural gas in our energy mix from 6% to 15% by 2030. Okay, government said that by 2030 50% by non-fossil fuel and 15% gas based we will be utilizing. Okay, so this will be again helping and trying to convert India into a gas based market. Okay, so earlier what was happening is that there were a lot of disparity in the pipeline tariff. Okay, so there is a need and there is a demand that more and more pipelines should be drawn, more and more infrastructure should be drawn in this whole area, so that whole country gets connected with the gas grid. Okay, whole country should get with a connected with the gas grid, and we should have a uniform pricing of the gas structure. That will happen. So along with that, we have even created the Indian Gas Exchange. Okay, this is the first gas exchange, that is called Indian Gas Exchange. Okay, has been set up where buying and selling of the natural gas will be taking place at the spot market and the forward market. Okay, so in India we have a three hubs are there. Okay, Indian Gas Exchange operates at three key hubs. One is Dahej in Gujarat, and then Hazira in Gujarat, and Kakinada in Andhra Pradesh. Okay, because these are the very important and strategic location from where we get the imported gas. We get imported gas in the form of a liquefied natural gas, LNG gas, and then when we regasify that, and the main purpose of regasifying this LNG gas is that because we wanted to make sure that there should be no unnecessary buyer seller negotiation should happen. So you wanted to buy gas, we will give you a gas. Okay, is it like that? It is not like that we'll provide you with liquefied natural gas and then you keep on converting into gas. No, you have said that I wanted to buy gas, we will provide you with gas. Okay, so this exchange here, the exchange market works totally anonymously, so that to keep fairness and impartiality. Here buyers of the gas and seller of the gas are totally unaware of who is buying and who is selling and who is taking. Okay, so government has put this gas market in order to make sure that this gas market should develop at a very large scale. Proper gas exchange is being made by the government in order to streamline the whole process, in order to find out the fairness in the gas market, in order to rediscover the prices of the gases. So the main purpose is to promote the trading in imported LNG gas. Okay, liquefied natural gas. Then we are creating a national gas grid. So under the national gas grid, government has given approval as a capital grant for the viability gap funding for Indradhanush gas grid. Okay, so there is a Indradhanush gas grid that has been created in the northeast natural gas pipeline grid are there for establishing the northeast natural gas pipeline. So this is one aspect of the national gas grid. So we are talking about what is the meaning of national gas grid. Here we are converting a gas based economy, right? Gas based economy that we are creating. Right now in our India we have a gas pipeline network of 16,800 kilometer. Okay, and additionally 14,300 kilometer of gas pipeline network is being laid down so that the gas grid should be connected from various part of our country in order to convert our country into a gas based economy. Okay, so what is the main purpose is that obviously it will also reduce the regional imbalances. Okay, everywhere the people will be having access to natural gases, right? People will be having more cleaner access to the energy. Okay, they will be getting green fuel, clean fuel, green fuel also. Okay, then economic and social progress, obviously whenever there is a energy requirement, and if you are solving the energy requirement, automatically it leads to economic and social progress. It will, the gas sources will get connected to the various places of gas consumption. Okay, so gas will be available throughout the year, throughout the time, every time, whenever you want, you can just switch on the gas, right? So this will be creating a city based network, a town based network, city wise network, okay, of compressed natural gas and piped natural gas in various states. So you might be seeing that if you go to big metro city, you can see that there is a gas based work is going on, and pipelines are being drawn, and you can see that there is a yellow color marking is there on the roadside, which says that high powered gas line is being going from here, so please do not step over it. Okay, so this is how our national gas grid is getting connected. You can see there are 5 lengthwise projects are there. One is Hazira, Wajipur, Jagdishpur. Okay, this is 4,222 kilometers there. Then Gujarat gas grid network of 2,239 kilometer. Then Kakinada, Hyderabad to Ahmedabad is 1,460 kilometer. Then Dhabol to Bangalore 1,414 kilometer. Then Dahej, Wajipur, it is 1,280 kilometers. So this is how we are expanding our gas network. So you can see there is a dashed lines are there. These are the under execution. So here you can see this is all are under execution. Okay, under execution, and the dark red are already in place, and the green line, you can see this green line is of LPG, liquefied petroleum gas. Okay, it is liquefied petroleum gas that is being transferred from Kandla and Jamnagar to the Meerut city and to the Kashipur and various other places. So this is how we are expanding our gas network in our country. Okay, then comes a very important act that is called Electricity Act of 2023, which is regulating all the electricity related matter in our country. Okay, this is a law regulating the electricity in our country. With that Electricity Act, we have even created a Central Electricity Regulatory Commission and State Electricity Regulatory Commission. The main purpose of that is what is going to be the tariff charges, licensing issuing, distribution and trading, and any dispute that is coming. That means anything, whatever comes to your mind related to electricity is being given in this Electricity Act, and everything will be solved based on that. Okay, now there is a draft amendment bill, sorry, here I have to put here 2022. Okay, so there is a draft electricity amendment bill that came into 2022. Okay, so here you are trying to give multiple player open access to the distribution network. Okay, so the earlier this was part of the government only, their monopoly of the government is there. Now government wanted that some more players should come and enter into the distribution network of the power supply, and here we are also asking, like if we have a Tata Power, if we have a Jindal Power, if we have what we call it as UP Vidyut Nigam. Okay, Vidyut Nigam. Now we have a right to find like from whom I wanted to take power. So here we want how we can choose our supply service provider. Okay, this is again is going to be the amendment that is coming. Okay, earlier what is going to be whosoever is providing supply over here, we have to take the supply from there, but now government is focusing on like we will provide customer with the choices to whom we provide with the like supply, who can from whom do you want your supply to be given, right? So this will enhance the service, this will enhance the revenue, this will enhance the services quality of the whole Electricity Act. Okay, so the bill seeks to amend this act of 2003, where distribution network by all licensed player, okay, open access will be provided, right? Non-discriminatory open access to distribution network, provision for graded revision of tariff, then convert the rate of punishment from imprisoned to fine. Okay, to fine, or fine to fine. Okay, and to strengthen function that will discharge by the regulator. Okay, so earlier there was a issue is that if you caught stealing you will be jailed and everything, but now they wanted to convert it to fine. Okay, you pay the fine and then you just leave it. Okay, so this is what the changes are being required that will be done in the Electricity Act of 23. Okay, now we are coming into the most important aspects of our like power sector reforms, that is called DISCOM, distribution companies. There are a lot of challenges related to the distribution companies are there. Now what are the issues related to the DISCOM? Okay, we know that India has a very big and large market of the power sector. Okay, we have to supply the electricity through the distribution companies to the grids and various other places, right? So we wanted to reduce the power deficiency, we wanted to increase the renewable capacity, right? Everything. This is what the overview that we wanted to have. Okay, so the challenges that are being faced by the distribution companies are, first is financial strain. There is a lot of financial strain that is there on the distribution company. Most of the distribution companies are at a loss, overall loss of 90,000 crore. Okay, as per the Niti Aayog report, if we go by the example, Maharashtra State Electricity Board reported a loss of 61,000 crore in financial year 2021. And then this is the first aspect. Then the second aspect is there is a lot of delayed payments. Okay, so they lose hamper Discom ability to pay the generator. That means distribution company has to pay to the generators. So there is a delayed payment from distribution company to the generator, because distribution companies are not getting from the proper consumers, right? So because of that, UPCIL has an outstanding due of 14,000 crore. Then infrastructure deficiency, most of them are highly inconsistent. They are, if they are not being providing the sufficient amount of power, and they are not being able to properly integrate. Okay, so lot of investment has to come over here, but because of inadequate investment, it is all hindering the whole progress of our power sector. Then high aggregate technical and commercial losses. Technical means loss of power when they are supplied through a line. Commercial means people are not paying their bills, okay. So aggregate technical and commercial losses, where and the tariffs are also lower. Okay, so actually the cost of delivering a unit of electricity is rupees 10 per unit, but tariff is fixed at 7. So there is a rupees 3 per unit loss that distribution companies are getting. Okay, then they are not even providing proper subsidized support. Okay, state government, central government don't provide proper support to the distribution companies, and their financial burden keeps on getting increase. Okay, so because of that, their operational cost is getting increased, and there is a very less investment that is coming from outside. Then inadequate infrastructure for growing need, right? So we need to create various type of infrastructure, but actually we need a better transformer, we need better substation and everything, but since they are running in losses, they do not have money to invest in all these betterment of the infrastructure, right? Then heavy subsidization is always done. Okay, government as taking as a pool measure, government say that okay, there is like we will waive off the farmer power bill, we will waive off the temple bills, we will waive off the other bills and everything. So because of that, agriculture power consumption, temples power consumption, everything over wherever is there's a lot of loss that is being faced by the discoms because of these heavy subsidization. Then high cost of power procurement. Okay, so discom has to procure the power at a high cost. 80% of their expenditure goes on procuring this power. Okay, so because of that, there is they loses their financial viability, and because of that, it limits their money to invest in other places, because 80% is going on buying the power. So where they will invest in the other money, right? So there is a need to reduce the expenditure in power procurement by more efficient way of working. Okay, now profitability gap, lot of issues is related to profitability gap is there. Okay, so discom cost and revenue leading to the profitability gap. Okay, gap is around 0.49 per unit. Profitability gap is there. Cash flows issues are happening in the distribution companies, because timely payment is not coming to the generator, they are not able to pay to the they are not getting from the consumer. Okay, and lack of autonomy in tariff fixation. So government usually provide them that this much is the tariff and you cannot fix more than that. So discoms are not being free to fix the tariff also. Then political agreement hurdles are there. Lot of political agreements hurdles are there. Because of that, government keeps on saying that okay, we will provide, we will waive off your power bill, we will waive off this and that, all the things. Okay, so power agreement hurdles are also, political power agreement hurdles are also creating a lot of issues. Then impact of alternate energy sources. Okay, alternate energy, renewable energy sources are also reducing the effectiveness of cross subsidization of tariff. Okay, earlier tariff was okay if you are providing to discom, but right now the alternative energies are getting far better than the various type of fossil fuel energy. Okay, so high prices to the consumer they will switch to alternative sources. Like if you are providing high prices to the customer will move to the other alternative sources where they will be finding lesser prices. Okay, so there is a need to balance out so that the proper tariff is maintained in this whole sector. So this is again the challenges faced by the distribution company. But now what is the strategies that you can follow in order to revamp your distribution company's network? Now to revamp the distribution companies, first of all we have to focus on financial reforms. Okay, how we can restructure their finances, how we can reduce the losses, okay, how we can increase and promote the more and more revenue collection, because loss of collection is loss of revenue. Okay, so government has came up with the Uday Yojana, Ujjwala Discom Assurance Scheme, where government is paying certain part of the distribution companies losses. Okay, but because of certain constraint, government have switched off this scheme as of now. Okay, then government should focus on policy support, like make renewable energy purchase agreement obligation. Okay, so as to ensure distribution company that they buy certain percentage of their power from renewable sources. So this will again financially make them viable. Then technological upgradation should be happen. We should start using smart grid technologies, better smart storage technologies, smart metering. We should keep on doing. Okay, so this will enhance the overall efficiency. This will reduce the losses in the technical lines, and this will also promote the revenue collection properly. Okay, so here we have given the example that Andhra Pradesh has deployed the smart meters. They will be managing that how the person are consuming, how much they are consuming, and based on that their energy requirement will be make up and down. Okay, now this is what the Uday scheme was there. Okay, Uday scheme was launched in November 2015, where government wanted to address the issue of financial and operational challenges of the power distribution companies. Okay, so the main purpose is that we will be bringing back our discom back to financial stable by within 2 to 3 years. We will be improving their efficiency, we will be reducing the power cuts, we will be reducing the interest amount, and we will be also enforcing the financial discipline. Okay, so this was an agreement that has been signed between the Ministry of Power, state government, and discoms. Okay, so what is the strategy they wanted to follow over here? They wanted to convert the debt into the government bonds. Okay, but they have to follow certain conditions, that AT&C loss, aggregate technical and commercial loss, you have to reduce, and you have to do power purchase planning. Okay, so there was lot of reduction that has happened in the depth of the discom after the implementation. So because there is a lot of monitoring is happening at the central level, dashboards are being there, everything is being monitored properly, but the scheme got reversed because government cannot provide unlimited fiscal support. So there was a limited fiscal support because a lot of money is required in order to support this scheme, and there is a lot of operational inefficiencies there, because they are not improving the billing procedure, they are not able to tackle the power theft and everything. Okay, government keeps on paying the money, but you are not taking care of the billing procedure, you are not taking care of the power theft. Okay, and power purchase is also getting increased, then input costs are also getting increased, structural reforms are also not being done properly by the state government and the distribution companies. Okay, so now government is planning that they wanted to privatize the discoms in the union territories to address the issue. Okay, so it has been discussed that if you are providing discoms to the private company, there is a indication that there is a success by the private sector. Okay, there is a cash trap discoms is there, which are creating lot of issues. The discoms which are creating lot of issues has to be transferred to the private sector, and it has been seen that they have been shown a success by privatizing the discom, but still the issue is still pertaining, and still the discoms are having lot of issue related to the financial viability. Now what we can go ahead in order to improve that? Operational reforms can be done, like smart metering can be done, ATC loss can be reduced, and billing process can be improved. right? Then rationalization of subsidies. Do not provide subsidies unnecessarily, okay? Only the deserving person, and eliminate the wastage, okay? Ceasing free electricity provision, okay? And only provide to the legible and only provide to the person who are eligible for that, okay? Then discom restructuring, vertical, horizontal, transmission, distribution, and everything, okay? You have to bundle, you have to unbundle it, you have to pack it with the new reforms, and then you have to rebundle it, okay? Then introduction of private players and good governance, okay? We know that there is in Odisha, in Bhindiwala, there is a improved metering and billing. Then autonomy and transparency has to be there in through the regulatory commission, and regular tariff revision keeps on happening based on the smart method and smart procedure, okay, which is actually telling the cost of that production, okay? Then electricity amendment bill that has to become, okay? Delicensing power generation, okay? Allow multiple people to be part of the electricity generation. Make direct benefit transfer compulsory, okay? Because you know that government has even started and introduced DBT reforms, direct benefit transfer, Jan Dhan, Aadhaar, and mobile, also everything. So right now Madhya Pradesh is improving this power sector with the help of subsidies that is being transferred directly to the people, okay? So what we Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana, we are running with the help of a DBT. Every scheme is being run on DBT right now. And then renewable purchase obligation has to be made mandatory. Every discom has to buy that. So strict mandatory adoption of the renewable energy purchase agreement has to be made, okay? And one-time financial support you need to provide to the discom that government has already provided in order to restructure the debt reduction of the discoms, okay? This government has already provided. Now we are going to read regarding some of the important schemes that are being part of the power sector, that is Deen Dayal Upadhyay Gram Jyoti Yojana, and then we will do Saubhagya Yojana, okay? And there is one more topic is there that we'll be discussing that. So first of all we'll be discussing the Deen Dayal Upadhyay Gram Jyoti Yojana. Now under the Deen Dayal Upadhyay Gram Jyoti Yojana, the main focus that government was doing in the Grameen Vidyutikaran, okay, rural electrification, okay, to the last mile connectivity, separation of agriculture and non-agriculture feeder, okay? So there should be a separate feeder for agriculture and separate feeder for non-agriculture area has to be there, okay? So this is very much important because government wanted to supply the power to the agriculture field at proper timing, okay? Then proper infrastructure strengthening and proper metering and distribution of transformer, feeder, and consumer, right? The main purpose of that is that we wanted to select the priority were like whichever last mile connectivity, okay, based on the eligible village and where so there is no minimum population criteria is there. Whatever the villages are there, if there is a village, so there should be connected by the electricity, okay? So all discoms, private one, renewable energy, or everybody is eligible under this whole scheme, okay? And this will be monitored by a monitor committee or oversight of this whole process, okay? So obviously this Deen Dayal Upadhyay Gram Jyoti Yojana is for the rural electrification and socio-economic benefits you will be getting for that, okay? Like health, education, connectivity, connected with the internet, and job creations will be done because power sector will increase the whole lot of sectors over there, right? Then gender empowerment, more and more women and girls will be benefiting at they have to do a lot of workload which can be done by the machines. Then discoms health will be also improving because more and more demand will be generating, more and more meters will be connecting, automatically you will get the revenue sources. Better policy formation because people will be getting the electricity, household electricity, they will be able to estimate, plan, and budget for household electrification. Then rural demand will increase, that once they will be having electricity, they will be demanding for businesses, they will be opening the businesses, and because of that here the rural demand will be increasing and will be converting into a circular economy. Then climate commitment, because if electricity is not there, automatically they used to burn cow dung, woods, kerosene and everything. So once the electricity is being provided, they will be reducing kerosene oil, they will be reducing the cow dung and everything. So it will also help their health, and it will also help their the climate, and it will also help the country in achieving their goals. So automatically a single source, that is electricity, will be able to provide so much benefit in these areas of all these areas. Okay, so this is Prime Minister Deen Dayal Upadhyay Gram Jyoti Yojana. Then we have a Saubhagya Yojana. Okay, empowering every home with electricity. Okay, Sahaj, Pradhan Mantri Sahaj Bijli Har Ghar Yojana, that is Saubhagya Yojana, to extend electricity access to over 4 crore rural and urban family. It is directly connecting the families. Okay, this is for rural electrification, and here we are directly targeting the family. Okay, it focuses on household electrification rather than village electrification. Okay, so focus on the last mile houses. Okay, focuses on the houses, that is the Saubhagya Yojana. So here key feature is universal access. People will be getting, all household will be getting. Okay, so this will be, funding will be divided 60% central, 30% bank loan and 10% from the state. This funding will be decided. Socio-economic caste census of 2011 will be utilized for finding out the beneficiaries, and Rural Electrification Corporation, that is REC, will be the nodal agency for this whole purpose. Okay, then solar power packs will be also provided. Okay, they will, like those people who are not properly getting connected with the electricity grid, okay, where it is not accessible, solar power packs with battery banks will be provided over there. Then there will be a Saubhagya portal that has been created, where real-time monitoring of the electrification of household will be checked. So every day the data will be updated, state-wise, district-wise and village-wise. Okay, so this, as of March 31st, 2019, all states have reported electrification of all household on the Saubhagya portal. However, there is still few household in the left-wing extremism area or most hit area in the Bastar region that are still awaiting the electrification in those area. Okay, so that is the Saubhagya Yojana. Now we are moving towards the last part of our session. What is the way forward in the energy sector? Some more points are there that we have to discuss. You just also keep in mind, like these are some of the important points that you can keep in your mind. So first is, unified ministry has to be created for energy. Okay, this should not be divided separately. So Kelkar committee of Niti and Niti Aayog has said that we should have a national energy policy that has to be intact. Okay, and we have to find out like what is the renewable energy potential and how much we can exploit that. Then balance regulatory intervention. Unnecessary regulatory intervention should not be there. Regulatory intervention should happen in such a way that it should create a win-win situation for both the parties, consumers and sellers. Okay, then financial constraint. Credit enhancement mechanism and global funding agency have to be chip in order to find out the financial resources. Then smart electricity grid and smart metering is the need of today. Okay, you have to come and you have to start with smart metering, smart grid connections, which will provide more and more reliable power, more flexible economic competition, and efficiency will be also generating, and there will be no issue of power theft that will be happening. More and more private sector participation. We have to have a wider scale private participation that should happen over here. Okay, and then uneven distribution of renewable energy has to be checked so that properly evenness can be achieved. Even the poor state should be able to generate renewable energy, and they should also able to get the renewable energy at a reduced cost. Okay, then utilize the new technologies like big data, artificial intelligence, machine learning and everything in order to analyze the data, why the losses are happening, what are the technical losses, what are the commercial losses. Based on the data, based on the analysis, try to switch over to the policy and try to convert the policy, try to reframe the policy in such a way. Then enforce renewable purchase obligation. Make every distribution company to focus on buying the certain degree of renewable energy. Okay, a strict enforcement to facilitate interstate sale of renewable energy, that should be happening. Then general network access, that has been proposed by the Central Electricity Regulatory Commission, that we should have a general network access from all the level in order to create the level playing field for everybody, so that there should be no issues related to the price discrepancies at various places. So these are some of the important points that you can put regarding the energy sector. Okay, so we will be coming out with the next session in the next class. Till then, thank you so much. Bye bye, take care, and have a good day.